Roy McIlroy, he gave a press conference. He's out in Dubai, I believe, DP World Tour, and they asked him about the latest with the deal with the PIF and the PGA Tour, and he said, given today's news with what happened in America, I think that clears the way a little bit. So we will see. He said when he was asked to elaborate a little bit, he said he might be able to get a deal done. He's got Elon Musk, who I think is the smartest man in the world beside him. Might be able to do something if we can get Musk involved too. I think from the outside looking in, probably a little less complicated than it actually is. But obviously, Trump has a great relationship with Saudi Arabia. He's got a great relationship with golf. He's a lover of golf. So maybe, who knows? But I think as president of the United States again, he's probably got bigger things to focus on than golf. I don't know if we think anything about that.
I think he's right. I think he's 100% right. Like, I think because the Department of Justice is going to be a big hurdle in this whole thing. Now, I don't know how much control like Trump has on all of that, but he certainly is going to be more open to a deal. He is right. The guy loves golf. He's like, I think, he hosted a live tournament. Like, he's very much in that world where, like, especially if he sees these Rory comments, he's the type of guy who will just be like, oh, let's do it. Like, if people want this done, we'll do it. We'll do our best to get it done. And listen, if that's what we get out of a Trump presidency, and that's going to be good for golf, because if that goes through, this soap opera that we've been dealing with for 2.5 years will hopefully come to an end. I actually agree with Rory, and I think this thing now has a much better chance of going through, and that is fantastic news for the game of golf.
I'm sure the federal red tape that's been, given to these dealers, the deal makers, has been outrageous, right?
Yeah.
So if you have the guy at the top that's like, let's get this thing done. I'm dedicating a day to this. What's the reasoning it's not moving forward? What does Saudi Arabia need? What do you guys need from me? If it's nothing from him, then they just need to get the deal done completely. But you would hope that if, they're all in the Oval Office talking about a new golf league, it's going to get done the second that they walk out of there. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, when you say like the president can get something done, you can say that about anything. So, I mean, like if Rory's just like, yeah, he's the president, he can get it done. Like I could say about literally anything. Because you would think that the president can get anything done, but we'll see. I mean, it seems like everything's moving forward. It's only been positive news. It seems like Tiger has definitely been a great addition to these talks, and ever since he got more involved and gave up the Ryder Cup captaincy and dedicated all of his time to doing this, it seems like it's moved forward. Every update that we've gotten seems like it's inching closer. So yeah, I'm excited. There's a lot of things to be excited about in golf. TGL is about to get going in January, and we've heard a lot of things. We were just with a couple of the guys from Good that did a tour of the facility, which I know we're going to do hopefully in December or January, and they said the place is outrageous. It's going to be an unbelievable viewing experience when you're there, and not only when you're there, but when you watch on TV, all the cameras and the way that the green rotates, all the stuff that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. They said when you see it in person, it's kind of like, holy shit, like this is different. This is cool. So you got that. You've got Live and PGA Tour possibly merging. It's all good stuff. I mean, it's definitely imagine thinking 3 years ago, I guess it was. When did this all start? 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Man, it was
2020.
June 6, 2021?
2021.
Yeah, was that the first event? And was that when the deal was announced, or was
that
it
the merger, or the quote unquote merger?
That's nuts.
What was like the first just the Live appearance, like where we were like the PGA Tour is dead. You go back and listen to one of those episodes. I'm sure one of the titles is like, "Is this the end of the PGA Tour?"
Yeah.
You jump forward 4 more years, 3 more years, whatever, and the fact that we're in this position now, pretty solid. Like we shit on Jay Monahan years ago for being like, "You're going to lose it. You're losing all your stars." If they can it feels like we're on the precipice of just getting it back. I
don't know. I would say right now I feel as bad as I've felt.
Really?
I mean, we've been in a holding pattern for a year.
But today you feel after like hearing like they're close to a deal.
But we've been hearing that for a year. Even when Tiger flew down and they've played golf at the old course now, like all we get is, oh, this thing is inching forward. I outside of the thing that Rory said today, before that, I was like, these are going to be two separate leagues for the next 10 years.
But has your thought that like the PGA Tour is not going to be a league anymore? Like, has that
gone
down?
I ever felt that way.
No, you didn't?
I don't think so. I think early on the talking was on Live. We were like, Rory had the dead in the water TPC Sawgrass comments, and it was like, oh, nobody's going to jump. And then DJ jumped, and all the guys jumped.
Everyone started jumping. Cam Smith was the Open champion.
I think there was one episode where it sort of looked like it was a house of cards for the PGA Tour, where it was like, if this continues, we might not need the PGA Tour. I remember having that sentiment at one point, but I don't feel that way anymore. But in terms of, is a deal going to get done? Like, I don't feel any better about it than I did 6 months ago.
It's interesting because I would say right now is the time when I feel that a deal really could work out just because of the lull in the season of golf. And I remember we talked to Brian Harmon. He was talking about football. And people were talking about, oh, yeah, football could be all year long. It's so big. And he was like, no, dude, like NFL and all the attempts at spring football have never worked out because our appetite is what it is. We need it in the fall and the early winter. That's fucking great. And that's what it is. In golf, I feel like there truly is this opportunity this time of year to have something completely different and unique because it basically is a different tour. Like this 2 or 3 months of golf on the professional level is a different tour of people. You get the occasional at the Zozo when Xander and, you know, some of these guys, JT and some bigger names played. But overall, it's like a 2, 3, 4 month sort of hiatus. And during that hiatus, the PGA Tour continues to go on, but it's all players that have lesser conditional status, et cetera, that are trying to kind of bump their way up the FedEx Cup and the money standings and all of that. So it makes me kind of feel like during the year, we're hyped up that it's Players Championship time. And then next month, Masters, bang. There's a couple of huge events in there. That's Arnold Palmer Invitational, and Tiger has the Genesis. You've got Jack's got the Memorial, and then their Olympics are thrown in there, the other major championships. Then we look forward to either a Ryder Cup or a President's Cup. And for those like that 5 month stretch, you're like, I don't know like how a deal could work. This all should be one thing. This is great. But this time of year, I do kind of feel like there is an opportunity where they could structure something that could work and deliver something new at a certain time of the year that doesn't exist.
Yeah, a break in the schedule is all we're basing it off of.
Yeah.
Which isn't great.
November 2nd, 2021 podcast, Greg Norman and his new golf league.
Wow. 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Shout out to Liv for making it.